What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Sells Legacy Sports Cards, and tonight we have our monthly recap looking back at the month of June and all the different things I was able to add to my PC over that time. It was a bit of a slow month for me. We had no major card shows, at least locally anyway. I didn't go to the National, so most of my additions have been via online purchases. I did go to a local flea market and picked up a few things, and I actually had a few nice gifts given to me by a patient of mine from the clinic. So I figured we'd review all those tonight. Before we get into those additions, though, one thing I wanted to do is give my wife a shout out. With the prices of PSA going crazy and everything being on hold, I've transitioned to some of these Mag Pros to put some of my raw cards in rather than send them to grade. And she surprised me by downloading a template and making me a flip for my Mag Pros. So I want to show those off and give her some credit. So I think these turned out great with the logo there at the top. They really kind of match well the PSA logos or flips these will be alongside them in my graded card display. So really appreciate her taking the time to do that. It was definitely a labor of love. We had quite a few snags trying to get all these sized up properly and everything like that, but they turned out really great. So I really appreciate her taking the time to do that. Getting into some of my additions via online purchases, most of my purchases this past month were all geared towards 1980s Don Mattingly things, as I continue to try to check things off my list to get his entire run of 1980s cards. And it just feels like every month I discover more cards I need to add to that list. So as I'm accumulating more cards get added to the checklist. But it's all right because most of these are fairly low value and low price, and it gives me something to do while I'm kind of in save mode as I'm prepping for next year's Strongsville show. So we'll go for a few of those tonight. A couple of the big ones here. We'll go to this 1985 Diamond Kings. This is actually the Leaf version. And you can tell the difference between the Leaf and the Don Russ because the Leaf version has that last paragraph is in French. So I added that to the PC there, the 1985 Don Russ Diamond Kings Leaf. Also got the two for the title from that same set. And I got the white letter, and I previously had the yellow letter, but just wanted to hold these side by side so you can see the difference. So obviously the Dave Winfield and Mattingly are in white letters there. So that is the Don Russ version, but the yellow letter is actually the Leaf version. And again, the only way here you can tell the difference is it's a different number. So the Leaf is 140, and the two for the title. The Don Russ is 651. There's no French on this one, so that's the only way you can tell the difference between the two, in case you're wondering. So those are pretty cool to add those from the 1985 Don Russ set. Also grabbed this 1986 League Leaders. It's a good looking card there, and 1987 League Leaders. And Flea, I tell you what, man, they must have printed about 25 different Don Mattingly cards every year because he has a ton of cards in each one of those sets. But I was pretty happy to pick those up. Also, too, I started digging into these little coin or mini-sized cards of his from the 1980s. Came across these. This is a 1986, I believe. 1985, I'm sorry, 7-Eleven Slurpee coin. So that's pretty cool. Almost has that Sportflix look there. That's pretty neat. Here's the Flea Mini from 1986 and a 1987 Mini sticker. I believe that's a Panini, Flea Panini. And these are cool for anyone that played Little League back in the late, or I guess the early 90s. These are those King B cards that came in the cans of that shredded beef jerky that we'd all put in our back pocket to make us look cool, like we were real big leaguers. So this is the only two cards of Mattingly he had were from 1988 and 1990. So when I saw those, I had to grab them because we used to chew that shredded beef jerky all the time, and I thought these are really cool additions to the PC there. So pretty happy to pick those up. In addition to just basic cards, I actually grabbed a couple oversized items as well. This is a 1988 disc. I believe it's called Kadako, however that's pronounced. It must have been a game or something like that, but it still counts as one of his cards from the 1980s. And I bought a couple oversized sheets to put my 3-ring binder, so I'll be adding that on. So that's a pretty cool looking card. I'll set that one right there. Also grabbed the 1986 All-Star oversized card. So I believe I have one more left to grab of his. I don't have the 1988, I believe. I think it's the last one I need to get, so that's pretty cool. Happy I grabbed that. Also, too, speaking of that Diamond Kings card from 1985 Don Russ, this is the Super Diamond Kings. So massive card. I think that is a 5x7. So I had to get some specialty pages for my 3-ring binder to put that in, but that's a pretty cool looking card. So I love these Diamond Kings cards. The Prez steel. I guess the artist designs theirs are always pretty cool. So happy to add that one. And while I was digging actually through my box the other day, I came across this. It's not a recent addition. I've had this forever, but I want to give a shout out to this picture. We took a trip up to Cooperstown when we were in high school, and we went into a shop, and this is the only Don Mattingly autograph they had on the wall that I could afford, because everything there, I don't know if you've been to Cooperstown, but the stuff there is just crazy expensive. So this was my first Don Mattingly autograph that I ever purchased. I forgot I had it, honestly. That's him pictured with Chili Davis. So I'll find a place on my wall for that. So it's not certified. There's no COA or anything like that. So, I mean, frankly, it could be a fake. I don't know. But this holds a lot of memories, because that was my first Don Mattingly piece of memorabilia I purchased back when I was a kid. So that was pretty cool. I just figured I'd share that real quick. All right, we'll move on quickly to some of the other purchases I made. Again, I didn't make a ton of purchases this past month, but I did go to a local flea market, and they had a couple cards there. One of the vendors did, so came across these. This was $1. That's a 1993 Classic Best Derek Jeter. So I know it's a minor league uniform, but again, it's his rookie season, so I'll count that as a rookie card. I'll put it in my rookie box. And next, I came across this 1983 Topps Ryan Sandberg. And other than being a little rough at the top there, it's really well centered and actually very sharp. It was only $10, and it's much better condition than one I currently have in my rookie box, so I'll go ahead and swap that out as well. So very happy to come across those. But the most exciting pickup I made from that flea market, he had a ton of bobbleheads, and I came across this guy right here. So as I mentioned, my son's name is Nolan, so if I see Nolan Ryan memorabilia or cards, I go ahead and pick those up. And these, I think this is from the Cooperstown collection or Hall of Fame collection or something like that from the early 2000s. These things on eBay are going for like $30 or $30, $35, $40, and I grabbed those for $10. So a little bit of wear there on his face, but I don't know, it looked pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty neat. Plus, it's got that old retro Astros jersey, so that's pretty neat. So definitely happy to pick that up. Okay. Before we get into the gifts, I just had a few other small pickups, nothing too crazy. We'll go over those real quick. Again, these are all eBay purchases, right? I think a couple were given to me by family. I did grab this 2000, I think that's 2008. Yeah, 2008 Topps Update Black of Paul Hoover. I've never mentioned him on the channel before, but he grew up in our hometown, and I remember going to Legion baseball games back when I was 7, 8 years old and watching him play, and he was the first guy in high school that I ever saw hit a home run. So he did have, he spent a little bit of time up in the big leagues with the Phillies and with the Marlins, and I'm slowly trying to get all of his release cards. So I now have all of them except 2, and they're kind of rarer parallels, and again, he's basically a common name, but I really don't want to pay $15-20 for him, so I'm kind of waiting to find him for a cheaper deal. So that's the black. It's numbered at a 57. So again, I have 2 more cards to go of his, and when I get those, I'll probably do a little mini video on him and just talk a little bit about his career. So happy to pick that one up. Secondly, I have this 1973 Topps Steelers team leader. I grabbed it mainly for the Tony Dungy. So I was watching a Collector Investor Dealer channel a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about this is Tony Dungy, who is a Hall of Fame coach. This is his only playing days card, so I guess in some circles they could be considered a rookie card, but you can grab it. I mean, this is pretty good shape. I know it's a little bit of a diamond cut, but pretty good shape of card, and it was only a couple dollars, so something cool to grab. Definitely not a Steelers fan, but that's pretty neat. And I think Tony Dungy is a really good guy. He's got a good testimony, so definitely not upset about picking that up for a couple bucks. This is a gift from my brother, Cortez Kennedy, 1990 Topps Traded. I didn't have that one for my rookie box. One day we'll go for my rookie box for football as well, but appreciate him giving that to me and adding that to my rookie PC. And this was a gift from my dad, this 1968 Manny Sanguin rookie. So, again, he had a chance to meet Sanguin, I think, up at Pirates Fest a couple years ago, and before he died and everything like that, and he seemed like a really nice guy, so pretty happy to pick that up. Definitely off center, but this comes from my dad's boyhood collection, so it definitely holds a little place in my heart, so appreciate all those pickups there. And lastly, we'll go over just a few gifts I was given by a patient of mine. I'm a physical therapist, so got quite a few patients coming in throughout the day, and had a patient who recently wrapped up therapy, and he came across some sports cards in I think a storage locker he bought recently, so he knew I collected, and he gave this to me, so I'll go over those real quick. So one thing he did give me that's not card related, he went to the Yankee Stadium at the inaugural season 2009, and they were giving out these ceramic stadium display things, and he gave that to me. He's a Red Sox fan, so he said he no longer wanted this in his house, so I appreciate him giving that to me. So I'll find a place for that up on my mantle. But he also gave me this 1988 Fleer update set. I'm not going to go through the whole set, but there's some decent rookies in here. You got Roberto Alomar, Craig Biggio is in this set. A couple other guys as well. I think Edgar Martinez is in the base set, but John Smoltz is in this set as well. But there were a couple cards in here I didn't have. I have one of these sealed already, so I don't mind going through the open one and grabbing a couple cards from my rookie box. But I didn't have the Mark Grace in the rookie box, the Al Leiter, or the David Wells. So I appreciate that gift from him. I'm not going to go through the whole set, but you know, these will be 3 additions to my rookie box as well, so I do appreciate that. But the coolest thing he gave me was this 1986 Don Russ the Rookies set. And as you know, there are quite a few good rookies in this set. It's, you know, Barry Bonds, Jose Canseco, Will Clark, Andres Galarraga, quite a few other guys. And I figured we'd go through this tonight. I haven't opened yet to see if all the cards are here. I'm hoping they are, but we'll see. I figured we'd just look at these guys together. A couple names from the past as well. Okay, obviously Wally Joyner, he had a decent career. Tracy Jones, Alan Anderson. We'll just kind of flip through really quickly to see if the big names are there. There's Andres Galarraga, so that's a fantastic card there. Oh, there's the Bonds. So a little off center, but happy to see that card. They're not one of his best looking cards, but that's pretty awesome. Mark Eichhorn, Dan Plesac, Kelly Gruber, Mitch Williams, John Cerruti. There's the Jose Canseco. So Canseco's got a ton of rookie cards from '86, and obviously his base card is the most iconic one, but that's still a pretty cool card to have. And as you can see, a lot of these cards, I think they were in storage for quite a while and probably not stored very well. They're a little dinged up in the corners, but still pretty neat. I appreciate him giving these to me. Paul Macher, Bobby Bonilla. It's his rookie card. Doug Drabek, rookie card. There's that Will Clark. Man, I tell you what, I need to send a couple cards to him through for TTM. I still think that he'll sign for about $20 an items, which is pretty cool. So I'll see if I can get him to sign a couple cards for me. Michael LaValliere. Oh, there's the Bo Jackson. Awesome. Forgot about Bo Jackson. So that's a really good looking card of him as well. So it looks like all the big rookies are in this set, or in this box. John Kruk, Danny Tartable. I don't know if there's anyone else we're really looking for here. It may have been all the big names. Ruben Sierra was a decent name back then. That's it right there. So it looks like the whole set's present. So I really appreciate that. That was a nice little gift from him. He didn't have to do that, but I appreciate having that to add to my PC. So that's about it. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, probably most excited about this Nolan Ryan bobblehead more than any of the cards. But, you know, we'll see. Maybe the next month I'll try to pick up something a little bit bigger. But again, I'm in save mode now. I'm kind of got my eyes set for Strong Zone next year. I really like to make a couple big purchases, and with the prices of some of these iconic cards going through the roof, I gotta really save and just be conscientious with my spending, so I can grab a couple of those big ones hopefully next year. So I appreciate you guys joining. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't liked or subscribed, I suggest you do so. I'd appreciate any of the support you can give me. And I hope you guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Bye.